When you think organized crime in Denver, you think Smaldones.
You know, they were well liked in North Denver. It was hard to develop an informant on them.
My dad knew what they did was wrong. They knew bootlegging was wrong, but that's what they did. That was their job. That's what they learned how to do.
They also helped with the poor. They helped with orphanages. They gave money anonymously to people. So the community, on the one hand, really valued what they brought, but also, I think, feared it in some ways.
It's become part of the lore of Denver now. We tend to glamorize and we want to downplay some of the hijinks, some of the criminal activity that does go on.
In time, they committed crimes to cover up their earlier crimes, such as jury tampering. And this led them farther and farther down this criminal road.
Colorado Experience is made in partnership with History Colorado,
inspiring generations to find wonder and meaning in our past and to engage in creating a better Colorado. HistoryColorado.org.
with funding provided by the University of Denver, celebrating 150 years, the Denver Public Library, the Colorado Office of Film, Television, and Media, with additional funding and support from these fine organizations and viewers like you. Thank you.
The Smaldones were the most prominent crime family in Denver between the 1930s and the 1980s.
The Smaldones were not much different than any other organized crime figures throughout American history or local histories. America's always been fascinated with the Robin Hood mentality, whether it was Jesse James, who was an alleged philanthropist, although he had shot people. We always have this fascination when we look for the good side of everyone. So you have the Smaldones on a local level were family people. They enjoyed their grandkids just as much as anyone else, their family get-togethers, yet they ran an organized crime ring.
They ran gambling for, years and years here, and were a huge force in North Denver. They built schools and helped out the churches and helped people on the street, and made a lot of money. Clyde was the head guy. Checkers was more the muscle.
Well, Checkers was his brother, and my dad. They were the main two, and they had a lot of other guys that worked for him.
Particularly Clyde was an interesting character. He was the brightest of the brothers, and he was the guy who actually ran the operation.
I'm Clyde Smaldone. I was born August the 27th, 1906, in the terrace at 35th and Mariposa.
Ralph and Mamie Smaldone, these Italian immigrants, raised a large family in North Denver. They ultimately had 9 children, including Chauncey, Eugene, and Clyde.
Ralph Smaldone came with his parents from Potenza, Italy, and they settled in Denver in the 1890s. Italians came to Colorado really beginning in the 1850s, and that has to do with the gold rush, the Colorado gold rush. And they're coming for a variety of reasons, but in the beginning, Italians are coming to Colorado from the north of Italy, and they're coming for opportunity. They're coming because they can travel more. Some are coming because of political unrest in Italy. Primarily, Italians coming in the 1850s are not coming as far as labor jobs. They're coming with more resources. So they're coming from the north and they are opening businesses. For example, the Garbarino brothers come and they open an oyster saloon.
They created small garden plots in the bottoms along the South Platte River, and they sold vegetables and fruit on the streets of Denver as peddlers.
The heart of Denver's Little Italy is really Navajo Street, and a big part of that is the construction of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, which happens in the late 1800s. And after that, once there's enough Italians in the community to support their own parish, then there's more businesses moving in, and then slowly it moves out. These enclaves are built to the protection of the immigrants. It's where they can speak their language, they can practice their traditions, their social, religious customs. So neighbors know each other, there's a lot of outdoor bread ovens, there's community celebrations, feast day celebrations. People know each other, they know their neighbors, and they look out for one another. Italians bring to Colorado cultural traditions, food, it's art, it's family.
And they raise these kids very traditional Catholic Italian family. And they always stayed close like that. 9 kids, all living in this little house in North Denver. The mom and dad slept downstairs, and the kids slept upstairs in 2 rooms, the boys in 1 room and the girls in another.
And we never had no bathroom in the house. We used to wash in the tub. My mother would wash about 4 of us at a time, once a week. And then my dad, he worked at the railroad, $30 a month. And he got to be a foreman, and he got $40 a month, and that's when he put a toilet in the house and a bathtub and got rid of the outhouse. And then I used to go sell newspapers.
They weren't living in great circumstances. I mean, and so they did what they could to help the family. They sold newspapers downtown. Clyde tells the story about how one day he and Checkers were downtown selling papers, and a woman gave them a $5 bill.
So we took it home and gave it to my mother, and she got scared. She closed the front door and the back door. She said, "You steal that? Did you? Where'd you get that?" She didn't want to believe it. I said, "What is it, Mama?" She said, "That's money." I said, "No, did you